buy now, pay later loans. So I am more than qualified to make this video because as of March 2026, I'm gonna just say 20. I've probably taken out 20 plus buy now, pay later loans. They have been for things that I felt I needed, things I probably needed or could have used, and things I have just wanted. They've ranged from those type of items. And I will say for 90 to 95% of people, you should never take out a buy now, pay later loan. This is because you're going to be charged a lot of interest, anywhere between like the mid 20s to upwards of 30% on those loans. And even if you have like something that you buy that's like small in price, it could be like $200-$300. When you pay the life cycle of the loan, like say it's for like 6 months to a year, the amount of interest you'll probably end up, you could end up paying upwards to a third or half of your purchase amount in interest alone. But the purpose of me making this video is because there is one specific criteria in which I believe if you can check this box, I think that a buy now, pay later loan could be a good option for you. Let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Marabu, and as you can see, this channel is called Profit Meets Peace because I do not believe you can have one without the other. And in this video, we're getting into buy now, pay later loans, and the only reason I feel that exists for you to actually ever take out a buy now, pay later loan. And I'm gonna get right into it. That reason is going to be to leverage some type of, I'm gonna just call it a money-making operation. And I know that sounds like, what the heck are you talking about, right? I have multiple businesses. I have a videography business. I have a vending machine business, right? And if you're running any type of business, there's going to be a point in time where you may need some type of supplies or equipment or something that you can use like today, right now, that you can't necessarily pay for right now. You get what I'm saying? So essentially, you want to buy it now and pay for it later. You know what I mean? And like I said in the beginning of this video, buy now, pay later loans can be very tricky, especially if you take out multiple buy now, pay later loans, because at that point you're paying a whole bunch of different, minimum payments, which could be small, but they could add up to a large monthly payment. And if you get in the habit of like paying them off, taking them out, paying them off, taking them out, not only are you paying interest and more for those items that you're getting, but it's just gonna be a recurring bill, a revolving door of just debt and constant, like it's almost like a subscription that just doesn't end, like Netflix or something, you know what I mean? So basically with that being said, I do believe that you can use buy now, pay later loans to leverage certain business moves. For example, as you see, my quality of my video looks good, right? That's because I am recording on one of 4 cameras that I own. Like I said, I have a video production company, Wisnap Productions. If you didn't know, this isn't my only channel. I started out doing fitness content, but I have turned that into a videography channel. Check that out. But anyway, I have 4 cameras, and this isn't even the 4th camera, the camera I'm shooting on. Basically, I have purchased about 6 to 7 cameras since 2020, right? And the majority of my cameras were purchased using buy now, pay later loans. And that's just the camera. We still got lights, we got lenses, we got all type of things that I have purchased. This computer was literally, this is an Apple computer. I got this when I first got my Apple card. Wasn't really a buy now, pay later loan, but it was like, hey, if you buy an Apple product, you can make monthly payments. I have made tons of money, tons of videos, tons of things using this computer. And that's the idea that I want you to take home from this video, is that if you're going to use or take out a buy now, pay later loan, it has to be for a significant reason. Like back to my videography journey, right? I first got into videography, like everybody first got into something, right, around 2019, 2020 time frame. And like around 2022, once I kind of determined like, hey, if I'm gonna really get into this game, I want to be known for something, right? So what I did was I started filming weddings, but the type of weddings, well, I'm not gonna say the type of weddings, but in filming a wedding, right? Like let's take the ceremony, for example. If you can film a wedding with one camera, But to market yourself and be like, hey, I can cover your ceremony with a camera on the bride, a camera on the groom, and a camera in the middle, or I can have a camera on a gimbal, things like that. It's like, basically, when I did like the possibilities in my head along with a little bit of numbers, I said, you know what? If I'm able to get, one to two more cameras, I'll be able to have the capability to shoot this type of wedding or shoot this type of content. Eventually, I got into shooting video podcasts, right? So, and I'm gonna give a whole lot of rough figures in this video just for the sake of not, being so exact, but they're true figures. But I would have to add all this up. But you're just gonna have to believe me, okay? Because like I said, I've taken over 20 to 30 buy now, pay later loans. Majority of them have been for videography equipment because these cameras are not cheap. This camera I'm shooting on was $2,500 when I bought it. It's not even the most expensive camera I have. The most expensive camera I purchased on a buy now, pay later, thing was $4,100. This computer was $3,600. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, let's keep it a buck. Like you're not gonna have money just sitting around. You're not gonna have $7,000 to $10,000 just sitting around to buy these things. But like I said, if I'm able to get myself booked for a wedding, right, that's anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 based on the capability of having multiple cameras, and I even take out a loan to get two of these cameras, right, the ones that's $2,500, like the one I'm shooting on. It'll take me 2 weddings to get that money back, and then I still have the capability. I still have those 2 weddings in my portfolio. Now I can, rinse and repeat and attract more clients and be like, hey, I can shoot your wedding like this. So again, it's not for everybody. This whole buy now, pay later rabbit hole, it is not for everybody. It is not for like a hobby. I'm not gonna say it's not for something you wanna start that's brand new, because if you kind of wanna get your feet wet, you just gotta get in there and get dirty, right? But at the end of the day, like any type of CEO, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Mike Zuckerberg, anybody, like it all started with them taking a risk. And I'm not, this isn't financial advice. This is just my opinion. A buy now, pay later loan, yes, it's risky. But if you have like that, if you have a plan and you kind of have that confidence to where like, that you have a good like plan and method and how you're going to like leverage getting something today, making money with it, which is going to end up with a profit plus paying your loan back, I don't really see anything wrong with it. Now, one thing I will say is, me personally, if I was strictly a videographer, like this is like how I paid my bills, because again, all those businesses I said, videography, vending, those are all side ventures to my 9-to-5 job. Now, one thing I will say, and I know I just cut myself off, but had it not panned out, I would have been able to pay the minimum payments of the loan. Granted, I would have took a loss, but I would have been able to pay the minimum payment of my loans with my full-time job. That's why you'll hear me say this time and time again on this channel. I am a big proponent, especially in 2026 to 2030, with the rise of AI, I am a big proponent of keeping your full-time job while leveraging the flexibility of a side hustle of some sort, preferably something that's passive, not really too hands-on, depending on what your job is. My job could be a little bit, not really so much so hands-on, but it's like very, I put a lot of work in with my 9-to-5 job. It's very taxing on my day and, a big part of lifestyle, whatever. So for me, I have found that, sliding in a little bit of passive income, I made a video on this. I'll link it there in the card above, in the form of like things like a YouTube channel like this, vending machines, the stock market. Those are good engines for me to get some passive income. Videography can be hands-on, at least one day. The next thing you know, I'm editing and I'm at home or I'm at work or, whatever. So yeah, like I said, buy now, pay later loans. I can't say that they're for everybody, because they are not. But I do believe if you have a good plan, if you really map out the numbers, and if you have a 9-to-5 job and you're able to cover the cost of the loan, if things don't work out, I think you'll be in good shape. It's almost like an investment, a very risky investment, because again, you're buying things and you don't know if you're going to make a profit. Do not take out a buy now, pay later loan to just buy something you want. And I mean, you're probably grown watching this video. Do what you want, right? I wouldn't get in the habit of getting things that you want and just paying the life cycle and just paying, whether it's Affirm, Synchrony, Klarna, Shop Now, which is, I think, Affirm, pay later, PayPal pay later. I wouldn't just pay them interest. I mean, I know PayPal, you can do things where if it's no interest, if it's literally no interest, then have at it, in my opinion. Because a lot of PayPal pay later is like no interest. They give you like bi-weekly payments every 2 weeks, whatever. But don't put yourself in any type of debt or overbearing, over-leveraged situation to make these payments back. But, if it's going to be interest involved, again, do the math. Take out the loan if you need it. Get whatever equipment, supplies that is going to help you, take on jobs or get some type of status, income, notoriety or something that is going to pay off for you in the long run. And you can even, if you want to pay the life cycle of the loan, if you want to consider those interest payments just the barrier costs to get out there now, it's not really anything wrong with that. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because at the end of the day, you may not have enough money to pay an extra payment. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I can and I don't want to. You get what I'm saying? I'll pay the minimum payment for 6 to 12 months. You know what I mean? Again, this is not financial advice. This is a little bit different video, because a lot of my videos, especially my last one, was more so about credit cards and debt and, don't let the credit card companies charge you interest. Interest is a bill. But I think for a buy now, pay later loan, when it's like, hey, you pay these terms for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, it's a little bit more manageable, in my opinion. It's a little bit more practical. You can plan it out, but that all has to be in the structure of your plan for why you're buying whatever piece of equipment, whatever piece of, whatever you need for your business. So to sum this entire video up, buy now, pay later loans. 9 out of 10 of you, 9.5 out of 10 of people watching this video should not take out a buy now, pay later loan, because you don't have a business. You don't have anything you're trying to leverage. You're just trying to get something now and pay for it over extended period of time, which I don't recommend that. But if you want to be like me in the example I gave, where you have this idea for this videography company, right? Where you want to, get a camera or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 in lenses and lights, and you want to start marketing yourself because you want to make money now. You want to build up your company now, and you have a strong belief and a skill set that that if you just do that, it's going to pay off. Because granted, I said I was going to give numbers. Probably in 2020, last year I made the most I've ever made, like as a videographer. I made somewhere in the realm of like $30,000 to $40,000. In 2024, it was $20,000 to $30,000. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many buy now, pay later loans I've taken out for just videography equipment, right? But it was not, I probably haven't spent $20,000. I haven't spent $30,000, and I just told you I made about 60 to 70, right? Or 50 to 60 or 70, 50 to 70. Basically, if you look at what I spent and my return, I have probably doubled, almost tripled what I spent. And I have that, reputation now with like, hey, I want him to shoot my wedding. Hey, I want him to shoot my podcast. You know what I mean? If I were to grind even on my 9 to 5 and try to save up and buy all this stuff, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have took too long. It would have took forever. I would have got impatient. Things would have been too expensive. I wouldn't have probably been able to leverage this without buy now, pay later. Not gonna lie to you. And even when you think about it, like this house I'm living in, right? This is like buy now, pay later. If you technically, I got a good interest rate, COVID interest rate and things like that. But still, 30-year fix, 15-year fix. That's buy now, pay later. You know what I mean? my house is a moneymaker, so they say. It's only really a moneymaker when you sell it or if it goes up in value, what have you. I'm just talking about leveraging a skill. Yes, the interest rate is larger. Yes, the risk is kind of smaller because the amounts you're talking about, unless you just go crazy, the amounts aren't that bad, given the reality of what you're trying to buy and what you're trying to do. But again, if you have a skill that you can leverage, you need some type of supplies, equipment now to make money now. You know what I mean? I don't think a buy now, pay later loan should be completely just ruled out. But again, if you're just trying to buy something because you want it, you know, if you're just trying to buy a computer just to have a computer, you want to get some Meta glasses just to have them and play with them and, you know, buy a whole bunch of stupid stuff, just leave buy now, pay later alone, because the buy now is going to feel good, but the pay later is going to annoy you. You know what I mean? When I'm getting booked for a job and I have a buy now, pay later loan I got to pay, and I get booked for a job and the deposit covers the amount that I just spent on a loan or whatever, it feels good because it's like, hey, that was my plan anyway. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and leave this video. Really hope this one made sense, man. Hope it doesn't sound like a contradiction to the whole profit meets peace, you know, moniker, slogan, headline, title, name, because truthfully, it was well thought out, at least on my part, and thank God that it worked. So if you did find value in this video, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and give it a thumbs up, smash that like button for me. Comment, have you ever taken out a buy now, pay later loan? Do you agree with my take on the buy now, pay later loans? Do I sound irresponsible? Leave it all down in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace out.